This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, cool. So 112.4, skincare guest experience. Let's dive right into it. In fact, let's go ahead and just start a slideshow. All right, guys. So for all of those who are part of the meeting, let's go ahead and do this first part, and you can just answer me through the chat. So how would you describe the feeling of being pampered? I would describe mine as a feeling of absolute luxury. Carrie, your cameo appearances. That's totally okay. My cats do that to me all the time. Exactly. Yep. Okay. So feeling important and special. I agree. You want to feel maybe kingly or queenly when you're being pampered. That is exactly like, yes, you want to feel like a princess. Yep, totally. Spoiled, getting more than you expected, feeling of being relaxed and like you're being taken care of. Absolutely. So when our clients come to us, whether we're in a salon or whether we're in a spa, wherever, at the end of the day, guys, that's really that's what we're here for. We're here to pamper our guests and make them feel special, make them feel like a princess, giving them more than they expected and making sure that they're relaxed. So when we get disgruntled clients, and I'm sure that you guys, all of you should be on the floor by now. Let me ask you this: has anyone seen a very disgruntled client at school on the floor yet? Barbie, I know you have. Yes, okay. Uh-huh, yeah. Um, it's always awkward. It's always awkward, and it's never good. But when that happens, yeah, 100%. Whenever that happens, that tells us that our guest is not feeling pampered, right? Something has gone awry. Now, sometimes our guests really just come in and they're ready to fight somebody, and unfortunately, we get caught in the crosshairs. But it's always a good learning experience. Even if it wasn't 100% our fault, there's always it really is a learning experience. So we learn how to deal with different types of people and different types of attitudes or just situations, I should say. So there are things that we can say and do to diffuse the situation, or things that we can say and do to make them sort of worse. All right. So, inspiring, giving clients the self-assurance that comes with beautiful, healthy skin is very rewarding. Oh my goodness, that's so true. And I don't know, I could not pamper. She didn't know what she wanted. That's very true. Yeah, yeah. Especially when your clients are a million years old and they're not totally. That sounds disrespectful. Not that she was a million, but she was almost 100. When your client is almost 100, it gets difficult to communicate with them, and yeah, that one is always awkward. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and it is still awkward for me when there is a very elderly person who comes in, and it's difficult to speak with them. I know it's ugh, not one of my favorites. Okay. So, following this lesson, you'll be able to identify the service essentials as related to skincare, provide examples of infection control and safety guidelines, define the products used for skincare services, and then explain the 3 areas of the basic facial. Cool. All right. So, giving clients special treatments and making them feel comfortable. So, pampering and indulgence. I love that word, indulgence. That reminds me of like Norman Love chocolate. There we go. That's a good one. That's what we want to make our clients feel like. We want to make them feel like Norman Love when they're in our chair. All right, so meet and greet here. Okay, so let's talk about Pivot Point. So Pivot Point breaks down the guest service experience into 4 different categories. So there is Connect, which is your meet and greet. This is one of the most important parts of guest experience. Reason being, so let's say that you walk up to one of your clients and you are, well, right now we have to stay 6 to 12 feet away from people, but let's just say that the world is not on fire right now and everything is normal. So if you go up to one of your clients and you are 30 feet away from them and you're just calling out their name, you're like, Karen, is there a Karen in here? They're immediately going to feel devalued, right? Because you wouldn't call out to a princess like that. You wouldn't, hey princess, why don't you get over here? Yeah, you want it to be a little bit more personal. So it is appropriate to politely and calmly walk up to your guest, give them a handshake. I mean, who knows? That industry standard is probably going to change after COVID-19, but as we knew it, over a warm handshake or even just a hi, how are you? Something else that I would do if I felt like I didn't want to touch somebody, maybe it's flu season or something like that. I would walk over to them, maybe kind of keep something in my hand, like a clipboard or something, right? Like I would keep something in my hand. If it's like a consultation sheet, then I have that in my hand. But walk up to them and just like, hi, come on over, and then guide them. Like you can point this way. So again, your hands are occupied, but you're still communicating with them. Your body language is still open and accommodating. But you don't want to put your client off right away because you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, when it comes to your consultation, you want to ask, analyze, and assess. So an example of a good consultation would be, okay, so yeah, you wanna ask open-ended questions. So that means that they're not going to be able to answer you with a yes or no. They're going to be, the way that you ask the question, you're going to be forcing them to give you more information. For instance, if you ask them, this is one of my favorite things. This is usually the first thing that I say when a client sits down in my chair. I go, all right, so tell me your story. Tell me about what you want to do today. And go, right? I just tell them, tell me about yourself. What are we doing? What are we here for? And that will lead them into, well, I want to do a haircut, or I want to, do a color, or we're doing a facial today, and these are my issues, right? So it forces them to talk, as opposed to, so are you here for a facial? And they say yes, and then that's it. Like we're wasting time at this point. All right, so then on to create. So you want to protect, ensure comfort, deliver, and teach. So when it comes to protect, we'll keep it facial centric today, since we still are, in our skin module. But so protect, meaning if you look at this little photo here, this is a great photo. You see how she has that little head strip on? So that's protecting her hair from getting any product in it. It's also good for you, so that when you are going to touch your client, or you have products on your hands, it's not going to follow, it's less likely to get into their hair or make a mess. So you want to make sure that they're comfortable. So if they're getting a facial, they're going to be with you for about 45 minutes to an hour, like half hour to an hour, depending on what they're having done. So you don't want them to feel like their neck is like crunching into their body or anything like that. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this yet, but a lot of clients, and I would argue most clients, are too awkward to tell you when they are feeling uncomfortable. I mean, how many times have you had a client in a shampoo bowl like Franklin the turtle, like that, and they're saying absolutely nothing to you? And deep down, you're feeling that you're making them uncomfortable, but you're also feeling too awkward to say, like, don't do that. Okay, just make sure that they're comfortable, and don't be afraid to ask them, and ask them again. I always ask my clients that I find multiple touch points throughout the service, just to make sure that they're still comfortable. Exactly, yes, body language is everything. All right, so then we're going to deliver, which is sort of your repeating back to them before you get started. Okay, so I hear that you feel that your skin is dry, so we're going to focus on adding moisture into your skin today. And we're going to talk about the products that I use, and we'll get you on a at-home regimen for your skin, so that we don't undo all of the lovely work that we did today. And then that brings us into teaching. So as you are, maybe not as you're going through in the facial, because you don't want to talk to them while you're doing a facial. They're here to just totally relax. But towards the end, before you wrap everything up, you can go over the products that you guys used, and get them on that skincare regimen for at home. You want your clients to understand that they need to invest in themselves in this industry. So if they're coming to you, thinking that they're going to get a facial from you and it's going to be the fountain of youth and it's just a one and done situation, then all of us would look like 12-year-olds all the time until we were 80. But unfortunately, that's not the case yet. It is an investment. You know, when you come and spend a lot of money on your hair to make your hair beautiful, or you spend a lot of money on your skin to rejuvenate your skin, it's the rest of the work is up to them. Between them coming in and seeing you for your appointment, they do have to take some responsibility and realize that they need to invest in themselves if they want to keep everything as professionally done as when they came and visited you. All right, and then complete. You want to request feedback, recommend a pre-book, definitely discard or disinfect, document it, and then follow up. So always ask them, how was your service today? If they tell you, well, it was horrible, there we go. That's a whole other thing, but they're not going to say that to you because you guys are all fantastic. So how did I do today? You know, whatever. If they do tell you in all seriousness, guys, if they tell you this was not that good, then you do want to ask them, what could I have done better? And I apologize. And then from there, it really is up to you how you want to resolve that. You know, if you wanted to give them a free service, but I don't recommend that. That tends to reward a certain behavior. And I don't know how I feel about that. That's me. For those of you guys who are here on the Fort Myers campus, you know how I feel about that when people start getting real cranky. All right. So pre-book, you do want to pre-book with your clients, making sure that they are coming back in to see you, and again, investing in themselves. So you just did this wonderful facial on them. You could have done a microderm or something like that, and you don't want them to go home and start putting all of their, I don't even know what. I'm picking on Garnier a lot, but yeah, you don't want them to go home and put that Garnier on top of it and ruin everything. By the way, I don't remember who it was, but one of my students, could have been one of you guys, submitted your influencer project and included a lot of stuff on Garnier. And that company is a lot older than I thought it was. I had no idea. It was like 1914 or something since they've been around. Who knew? All right, so discard and disinfect. This is the most important aspect to our client, our guest experience now. And I think that we are going to see a lot of changes in the industry as far as what our disinfecting guidelines look like. I think they're going to become a lot stricter due to the COVID situation. So the days of leaving a little bit of hair on your station, or maybe spraying barbicide on spraying your station down every other client, I think those days are over. And they weren't recommended in the first place, because we should be sanitizing after every single client. You want to make sure that you look professional, you look clean. That way your clients are comfortable and they feel like they're in a safe space when they're in your chair or on the table. But yeah, I think those guidelines will probably tighten up a little bit. You want to document what you did. That's very important when it comes to skin. If they end up having a little bit of a reaction later on, like let's just say that you used a product that was too overwhelming for their skin, then you'd be able to look back on your notes and see exactly what you used so that you could avoid that. And then if you don't and you forget and you use it on them again, then you're reaching territory where your client might not come back to you because they are having skin irritations when they come visit you. So it's very important, document everything that you do, and yeah, follow up with them. If you haven't heard from them in a little while, it's good to send a I miss you card, or I know that there are text blasts now. There are software, salon and spa softwares out that will actually send those for you. So what a time to be alive. All right, perfect. So here we have our meet and greet. We have our skincare form over here. This is what a very common skincare consultation sheet looks like, right? So you ask, we've got their name. You'll want to make sure that we have the correct address, phone number, their occupation. I know that seems like something strange that you might see on a consultation form, but it's actually really important. Let's say that they work somewhere, I don't know, maybe they are a professional, they work at a cleaning facility or something like that. They're around chemicals all the time, then that could be causing skin irritation. So it's very helpful. More often than not, I would say that the occupation doesn't have a whole lot to do, but depending, it could give us some insight as to why they're having some skin issues. Their medical history is very important. If you're using things like retin A, which is great for aging skin, they could have a lot of reactions if they're going out in the sun all the time. So, you know, when you see those really leathery looking individuals that are just, you know, we call them the sun worshipers sometimes. I would not recommend putting retin A on their face because their face is going to come off essentially. All right, so are you under the care of a dermatologist? That's very good to know. So that's a person that you could remain in contact with if anything goes awry, so you could get their information as well. It's going to ask them about skin issues, if they have high blood pressure, heart problems, if they are pregnant. Depending on if your client is pregnant or not, there are certain products that you would not be able to use on them. Are you on medication? So on and so forth. It's going to ask their dietary history, cosmetic history, and extent of facial care at home. You'll see down here, that's our last one. That's very important because that's going to give us a really good idea as to what their investment in themselves is and how we can point them in the right direction. So we also have our skin type up here, signs of dehydration. So skin types. Let's see. So what type of skin types do we all have? You can go ahead and type that in the chat. Mine is, I'm gonna say it's more on, mine's on the dry side. Yeah, I get really, really dry up in here, and I constantly around my temples have peeling, like no matter what I do. Doesn't matter how much I exfoliate, or you know, I'll put creams and everything on there. It just bothers me. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm a professional at this and I still haven't figured it out. It's definitely something that I'm doing, but okay, yep, combination skin. I will say that combination skin is probably the most common. You hear that a lot. Skin tends to get very dry. You see dryness a lot in more mature individuals. Of course, you do not have to be in your mature years to have dry skin. But if you notice that on anti-aging products, everything is very moisturizing. It's a little bit oilier if anyone has ever had any of those products on their face. But yeah, as you age, you start producing less sebum, you start producing just less of everything. Your body's not really absorbing things the way that it used to. The collagen starts to come out of your face a little. So the more moisture you have, the better. And you want to make sure that the products that you're prescribing to that individual is effective, right? So if it's just like vegetable glycerin that is the most moisturizing thing in there, it's probably not going to help them. All right, cool. So if you have oily skin, then you're probably not going to want, let's see, is dry skin less likely to have acne because of less oil production? I will say yes, they are less likely, but that's not unheard of at all. In fact, it's very common for acne prone skin to be dry. More often than not, it turns into a bit of a combination. And in my experience, I find that when you have acne prone skin and you're suffering from dryness, it's usually because this individual is obsessed with keeping the oil off of their face. So you're creating this cycle of oiliness and dryness. So what they'll do, they have tons of acne, be it on their face or wherever. So they try to make up for it by using all of these products that have salicylic acid in it, or I always pronounce this one wrong, but benzoate peroxide, whatnot. So they use those products on their face all the time, trying to dry out their acne, but you're actually just drying out your skin barrier and causing dryness in places that doesn't have acne. And then your skin it starts to essentially freak out a little bit. It starts trying to make up for the loss of sebum. So it's actually creating more oil to be pushed out, but then at the same time, you're drying your face out like crazy. But that happens to me every once in a while, where like in my dry spots, I'll get acne. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? So yes, it's totally possible. All right, cool. So we analyze the client's face, complete our skin evaluation form, assess facts thoroughly, think through recommendations, and sometimes you need a minute to think about it. I mean, it doesn't always just roll off the tongue. Even when I'm behind the chair and someone's telling me about their hair, every once in a while I'll say, "Give me a minute. I need to stew, and I'll think about what I want to use on you. I'll think about it." So you don't always have to just right off the bat have those answers for them. Sometimes you really need to get your hands in there, feel their skin out a little bit, or their hair or whatever, and then decide from there. So that's okay if you guys can't figure it out right up front. Gain feedback and obtain consent. Yeah. I actually used to work with a person that was super pushy about services. Now, this wasn't a hair salon. I'll never forget it. He said, "Okay, so I'm going to recommend today that we do." She just came in, she had curly hair. And he's like, "Well, I'm going to recommend today that we do that haircut that you came in for, but we're also going to do a keratin, and it's going to last for up to 3 months." And blah, 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 blah. He just was talking super fast. This woman's looking at him like bug eyes. And he goes, "Okay, sound good. Let's get started." And then he just got started. The lady didn't even have time to respond, and all of a sudden she was getting this $200 keratin treatment and was too awkward to say anything about it. So needless to say, he did not gain the trust of his clients very easily. I noticed that he had a lot of turnover. So you don't want to be super pushy in that aspect. You do want to gain their consent before moving forward, and make sure that they feel comfortable with you. All right, and then record your treatment plan on the skin evaluation form. And that's essentially keeping track of everything that we did. Come on. All right. So create ensuring client comfort, explaining products that you are using and why you're using them. So that's part of teaching our client. Teach the client how to perform at-home skincare regimen. And it's good to kind of have them. Sorry, one second. Okay, so I'm trying to do the Quizlet account. It's telling me I can't do it. Unexpected errors has occurred. Okay, yeah, Barbara, the website could be down, so just give it a few minutes, or maybe like try back in an hour or so and see if it's back up. Because I know that we have a lot of students using it right now, so it could just be the website. I would just try again in a little bit. All right, and then we are practicing infection control procedures. All right, so complete, escort your client to the retail area. That's something that you should do every time. Always walk them up. So you never want to say like, "Okay, thank you," and then kind of push them out of your room, or just have them go find the front, even though we know that they know where it is. It's polite and it's excellent customer service to walk them up there. Ask for referrals for future services, and there's a way to do that with tact. So you wouldn't want to say, "Look, if you know anybody, send them on over my way," because it's going to make you sound like a car salesman, and nobody likes that. Sorry if you're a car salesman, no offense. But right, you do want to say, "I'm so happy that you enjoyed your service today. Let me give you a couple of your cards. If you have anybody who is in need of, the same services that we did, just, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to meet them." You gotta sell it a little bit. So suggest future appointments and offer to pre-book the next service. You want to discard all of your single-use items, such as like any disposable sponges that you used, any cotton tips, cotton pads, anything like that. Throw it all out. We know we don't reuse those. And if we tried, it wouldn't be all that possible. So that's good. And then record everything. All right. Communication guidelines. So a client queue. So this is part of that open-ended conversation that I was talking about. Sorry guys, I'm just making sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, I'm getting text messages from other students currently, so just making sure. Okay. Perfect. So back to the open-ended questions. So a client queue, right? This is something that our client is going to tell us that's going to give us a clue as to what we can do for them further, how we can make their service better. So if your client says to you, "My skin feels very dry, I can't seem to use enough moisturizer, yet I keep breaking out along the sides of my chin." Wow, there you go. There's my issue. So a professional response. Judging from the look of your skin and what you've told me, it seems as though your oil glands are overproducing, causing some breakouts. So your skin is probably not dehydrated oh, I'm sorry, your skin is probably not, and then I can't see what that says because my little thing is in the way, but hydrated, which creates that dry feeling. So like I was saying earlier, when I don't remember who it was Sierra that asked, is dry skin less likely to have acne? You could be or your client could be causing that dryness on their own. It's super, super common. So my recommendation is to begin today with an enzyme peel. The skin, I'm sorry, again, I can't see what that says. Here we go. Today with an enzyme peel to rid the skin of any dead cell buildup and follow up with a hydrating mask that will replenish the water content of your skin. So that is an excellent response. That's what we want to sound like in a perfect world when we're talking to our clients. That's going to sound so much better and so much more professional because we are explaining to them what we're going to do. And we're also going to teach them why this is going to work for them. So they'll gain your trust. But a poor response, if your client says, my skin feels very dry, I can't seem to use enough moisturizer, and I keep breaking out, something like, well, you're probably making your own skin dry. It could just be what you're using. So let's use some really good things on it today. If you deliver something that way, even though we might not necessarily be trying to sound rude, it comes across as rude. So it's important to be careful about how we are teaching our clients and how we're communicating with them. All right. Sometimes it helps if they're saying, yeah, Carrie, yeah, I agree. Maybe just, yeah, unplug the computer. Also, Barbie, you're using a computer and not just your smartphone, right? Okay, so another client cue. I can't seem to get rid of these pimples and blackheads. I've tried so many different products. So our professional response, that sounds very frustrating. I like that because it's showing some empathy, that you're not just listening to them, you're really hearing them and understanding kind of what they're going through. Our clients are going to love that. We love that when other professionals in any profession, right, with customer service, we love that. So any combination of conditions may be responsible, such as improper cleansing, hormonal imbalance, stress, and even humid weather. So giving them that professional response, explaining to them why, and then giving them a roadmap as to where they're going to go. So this is great. If the condition continues, your physician or a dermatologist may be able to determine if other factors may be contributing to their acne. So as cosmetologists and or estheticians, there's only so far that we can go. So you do want to be careful in your wording. Well, it could be due to these things, so let's try this. But if you're finding that the problem is still not clearing up, then you should go see your physician. Perfect. Okay, it is on your phone. Barbie having issues. She also has wild Wi-Fi. Okay. All right, skincare, infection control, and safety. So cleaning removes dirt and debris. Okay, this is something that trips everybody up on their state board. So make notice of this. I remember even being in cosmetology school, and I don't know that I ever 100% like got these down at the time. Cleaning, disinfecting, sanitizing. So these are three words that in the everyday English language, we feel as though they mean the same thing, which is, and that's how we use them in our speech. So, I mean, how many times have you been sick and you're like, I just have to clean everything, or I have to sanitize everything, or I have to disinfect everything, kind of using those words as synonyms, but they do actually mean different things, especially in our industry. So cleaning something, that removes dirt and debris off of your implements or off of your surfaces. So when we're clean, you got to think of it like when you have dirty dishes and you clean them off. We're probably not completely sanitized. We probably still have germs on there, but at least our debris is off. It is going to remove microbes off of the surface, but it doesn't kill them, right? So you could still become infected off of a surface or an implement that has been technically cleaned. Just because it doesn't have any debris on it doesn't mean that we don't have any bacteria on it. So moving on to disinfection. Disinfection is going to kill certain, but not all microbes. So maybe the disinfectant that you're using is particularly effective against bacteria, but not so much against viruses. All right, so use disinfectants that have EPA approval for use in the salon industry. So there are solutions, sprays, and wipes. And we know that we have all of these things around our campuses right now. Just trying to keep it cute and COVID free. All right, perfect. So skincare, cleaning, and disinfection. Hold on, let me move this out of the way so I can't. Okay, good. All right. Skincare, cleaning, and disinfection. Perfect. So our spatula. You always want to use a spatula in the professional world. When we're at home and we're just using a little product on our own, I know every single one of us, we dip our fingers in there and put it all over. I do the same thing. I like it. I usually do it when I get out of the shower, so my hands are semi sort of clean, not disinfected, but clean. But in the professional world, you cannot dip your finger in there at all. You do want to use spatulas. We are about to put some things on somebody's face and we're getting very close to the eyes. We don't want to cause any eye infections. All right, so these spatulas are single use, so you do have to discard them afterwards. Gloves, we know exactly what those do. They protect our hands and also potentially the client from our skin and other things that might be able to infect them. We know that we discard those. There are fan brushes. We use these to apply product on the face or neck. And you do pre-clean them with soap and water. These can be totally sanitized. I like the plastic ones because they are 100% sanitizable, where I'm a little iffy on the bristles. It really depends on what the bristles is made out of. All right, and then the headband and head covering, that is disposable. Some of them are not disposable, but I prefer a disposable one because I just feel like you can't get things all the way clean. That's just me. That could be the COVID talking, but I don't know. Keeps hair off of the client's face and it keeps product out of the hair. And then our mixing bowls. So those are usually made out of silicone. I don't know if any of you have seen the ones that we have here on campus, but they look exactly like that. And they're either, the ones that we have are brown or blue, but they're made out of like a silicone material and they're totally sanitizable. Then we have our sheets, blankets, a client robe and gown, towel. These things allow your clients to stay warm. And that way, if you get any product on them, it's not on their clothing. We're not going to ruin any of their clothing. It just goes on either their towel or their robe. And then all of these things need to be washed with bleach afterwards, which is why a lot of salons and spas, they'll use white for two reasons. One, you can bleach it all day long and you're not going to ruin it at all. And it's white, so you can bleach the heck out of it. But then two, it just looks really relaxing. It looks very minimalistic and like, I guess, pampering. Then our cotton swabs and our facial tissues, we can use these for product removal or even placing like a peel. If you're doing a peel, you don't put a peel on your hands and then put it everywhere. You'll put it on a cotton pad and then you'll place it over the face. Equipment is disinfected by wiping it down with an approved EPA registered disinfectant spray or wipe. So like Lysol, things like that. Our products that do kill bacteria and viruses on contact. So these are all, for those of you who are unfamiliar with these things, Barbie, I know that you are an esthetician already, so I know that you are familiar with these, but for others who have not seen these, we have a facial steamer, magnifying lamp, infrared lamp, a woods lamp, a vacuum, high frequency current machine, and a facial bed. Yeah, so this is what a facial bed looks like, nice and comfortable. For those of us who have been in them before, they are super comfy. I love them. These different types of lamps will provide either extra, here we go, like our magnifying lamp. This one doesn't have a certain UV or type of light in it. It's like a literal lamp. Sorry, one second. I think we're good in here. Oh, that one. There's one out there. Thank you. Okay, sorry. It's an actual lamp so that you can see what you're doing. It's going to magnify everything. There's usually a little like ring light that's on there, as opposed to this infrared lamp, which is actually, you can place that on the skin and it will affect the skin in different ways depending on what type of condition or you're trying to treat for them. Your facial steamer just puts steam out onto the face. It will help to open those pores up. It's very helpful when you're doing a facial, but you have to be careful not to accidentally waterboard them. Somebody did that to me. One time they put the facial, I swear, it went like right up my nose, and this is a while ago. I was too awkward to say anything. So I was like getting a facial, and it was the most unrelaxing thing ever. I was like, I was dying. Okay, summer. So how would I do a facial at home for the assignment? Okay, cool. Yeah. So I was having this conversation with Sierra before a lot of you came in. I just need you to do your best with it, because I know that you don't have these machines. So we're going to do them just as basic as one can. Use any products at home that you have. If you have any masks, honestly, if let's say the only thing you have is one of those sheet masks, that's okay. Yeah. Yes, just a skincare routine, basically. Just try to make it as luxurious as you possibly can. And certainly you can do it on a mannequin. That's totally fine. If you want to do it on a mannequin or on yourself or on another individual, if you feel comfortable, that's okay. I'm going to be very lenient on these types of things, because who has all of this stuff just readily available to them at home? Probably none of us. But I'm more concerned with the motions of it, and me just knowing that you've gained the understanding of the motions. Maybe show me a little bit of the tapotement and things like that in there. Okay, Corrales, I have some more questions on lab when we are done with theory, because I'm still very, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yep, as soon as we're done with this, then we can pop back into a Q&A, definitely. All right. Alert. If tools, multi-use supplies, or equipment have come into contact with blood or body fluids, the following disinfection procedures must take place. Yeah, not good. I have gotten someone else's blood on me in the salon before, and I flipped out. For those of you that don't know that about me, I am a huge germaphobe, but I did handle it like a professional and freaked out in the break room. That's what the break room is for. Have your freakouts back there. All right, so care and safety, personal care. Check that your personal standard of hygiene minimizes the spread of infection. Okay, so take showers. I don't know everybody's individual hygiene habits, but in this industry, you have to be clean. You have to. Showers are not optional. I have worked with individuals before who I swear would only shower once a week. And really, and I'm really not trying to sound, I guess, insensitive at all, but it's just, you will not be successful smelling to high heaven in this industry. You've got to figure something out. If you don't have, I guess, access to showers all the time, it's a good thing to communicate with your manager or somebody who's overseeing you for some help. Otherwise, you're going to chase people away. Always wash your hands. Clean and disinfect your workstation all the time. Wear single-use gloves. Refer to the area's regulatory agency for proper mixing and handling of solutions. All right, perfect. So our client care prior to the service, you want to drape them. Oh, using the cocoon wrap. The cocoon wrap. Unfortunately, I can't show that to you, but that is, I use the same thing, the cocoon wrap, when I do, when I'm putting like a client's hair up. You just wrap your little towel around there and it looks like a little cocoon. So use clean linens. Please don't use any dirty linens. I think that mostly goes without saying, but you never know. Identify contraindication. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that word, a contraindication would be, like I was talking earlier about retin A. Let's say that you had a rather tan, maybe almost leathery client come in and say that they're concerned about their aging. Well, you probably shouldn't put retin A on them, because we know that they're going to be in the sun all the time. So those things are contraindications. They don't work together. All right, so keep lids tightly closed and complete the client record card. Client care during the service. Be aware of skin sensitivities and do check in with your client periodically. You always want to, as I said, take the spatula out with the jars and you're getting rid of any multi-use supplies. Make sure that your equipment is clean. Look, we can see one of our little steamers right over here. Good deal. Wow, gosh, that looks so relaxing. Look at these fresh flowers in here. That's lovely. Love that blue. All right, so keep tools dry to avoid a short circuit when using electrical equipment, and you want to keep your labels on all the containers and store products in a cool place to protect shelf life. Quick tip for everybody who goes in and receives like nail services or skin services, if you're in a salon or a spa, and your skincare professional or nail tech or even, your cosmetologist, whoever, they pull something out that's not labeled and they start using it on you, it's time to get suspicious. Everything in a salon and a spa should be labeled. It should be right out there for you to see. When they have random things in unlabeled jars, it's time to get scared, because that means that whatever is in there could be anything. It certainly didn't come from a factory prepackaged in something that's not labeled. That's not legal. Okay, so that we know that some professional in there has tampered with it to some extent. Okay. So clean mop water spillage from floor, use your signs. All right, here we go. So skincare products. Good stuff. So we have our cleanser. Cleanser removes impurities from the skin surface. It's going to take makeup off. It'll get rid of all of that sebum, any extra sebum that you have left over. Everybody uses a cleanser on their face. Well, hopefully, I don't know. Maybe you're one of those people that uses like the Pert. You just put it all over your face. Hopefully not. All right, our toner helps to further cleanse. It smooths the skin, it will soothe it, and it restores pH. That is the main function of a toner, is that it will balance out your pH. In fact, you'll find that some skincare regimens tell you to tone after every single step. In my opinion, I think that's overkill, but it just depends. Then we have a chemical exfoliant, which removes dead skin cells by using enzymes and hydroxy acids. So our peels, that would be a chemical exfoliant. I don't know if anybody's ever had a peel before, but they can be kind of gross. You'll get your peel and everything's fine for a day or two, and then a couple days, maybe 3 days later, your whole face starts peeling off and you look like a reptile. Scary stuff. But then you look gorgeous afterwards, after it's all done, because you have all that new, beautiful, glowing skin that's coming out. Then we have our mechanical exfoliant, so that removes dead skin cells by methods such as facial cloths, scrubs, brushes. You guys have probably seen those little silicone scrubbies that we have now. There's a cute little meme out that has a otter that's like, it's kind of what I think of when I think of a mechanical exfoliant. Massage cream and oil, it reduces friction and provides slip to the skin during massage. So this isn't something that we usually do at our house. This is more a professional service. This is something that we do for that pampering. So it's a specific massage cream that's not too oily, because we know that we're going to be having other things going on the face afterwards. So it provides you that slip, and then you're able to go through and do your like nice facial massages and everything. Then we have our masks. They do a lot of different things. Depending on the needs of your client, the mask that you use on them during your facial will be different. So some masks cleanse. So cleansing products that we'll see in masks will be like a charcoal. That's all the rage right now. Like cleanse your face with charcoal or lava ash. Things like that are very cleansing. They detoxify the skin. Hydrating would be oats, or that's a very common thing to see in masks, is like an oat mask. Maybe different types of oils will be in there. Tightening your pores. Tightening of the pores, those masks they usually do not stay on very long because they can be very irritating to the skin. Oh my gosh, off the top of my head, I can't believe that I'm blanking on this right now. I believe it's AHA that's usually in that. But it does cause your pores to tighten up just a little bit, but if you use it too often, it can be really, just be careful with those. Some masks can exfoliate, they can reduce excess oil or offer nourishment to the skin. It just depends. So your touch point with your client when you're doing that consultation, make sure that We figure out what type we're going to do, because we certainly wouldn't want to put a very acidic mask on someone that has redness on the skin. You could make it worse. Then we have our moisturizer, which is going to hydrate and protect the skin. Hopefully all of us already used one of those. And then last but not least, sunscreen. Sunscreen is probably the #1 culprit for aging, especially here in Florida, because we do get so much sun and it is sunny year round for us. It's important that we use a sunscreen in our everyday routine. Otherwise, we're going to start getting a little crusty a little sooner than we need to. All right, so here's our basic facial preparation, the procedure, and the completion. So I like this slide right here. In fact, this is a good one just to use for the steps. It's all just right here in front of you. Drape your client, remove the makeup, cleanse, tone, analysis, exfoliate, massage, mask, tone again. Here we go. Yep, double tone, and then protect and moisturize. All right, we're all familiar with what this looks like. Here's our basic facial rubric. Sorry, here's our basic facial rubric. So you guys can also use this one. In fact, if you want, you can. One of you was asking me, Summer, I think it was you, if you have like a copy of your basic facial rubric or something like that, that you can send me on this, then I'll accept it. As long as it's signed by your educator. If anybody has anything like that, then you can send that along to me and I'll count it. But otherwise, yeah, just go ahead and make me a video on it and send it in. If nothing else, if you already have finished your facials, it's just going to be more practice for you. I mean, we can't get enough practice before we go out into the real world. Okay, is this one going to give me answers? It does. All right, good. Wasn't sure. Okay, let me try to minimize this really quick. All right, cool. So true or false? It could be said that skin, Lord have mercy. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay. It could be said that skincare is all about pampering. Yeah, I think you could totally say that. You could totally say that it's all about pampering. Although if you are like me and you're super paranoid about getting saggy skin any minute now, it has to do a lot with that as well. So true and false, complete a skin evaluation when connecting with your client. Yeah. I'm gonna say that that's true. Complete a skin evaluation when connecting with your client. Oh, okay, I know what you mean. During your connection point, so right. So you don't want to walk up to your client and start shaking their hand and just say like, so tell me everything about your skin. I mean, just wait until you get back over to your next touch point. All right, so assess the facts and thoroughly think through your recommendations after reading the completed skincare record form. Boom, page 37. Fill out the appropriate sections of the skin evaluation form to record your treatment plan. So your treatment plan, you can always give a copy of this to your client as well so that they know what they are supposed to do at home, because they're going to forget. These things are very overwhelming, and a lot of our clients are going from using probably no moisturizer at all, and they're doing the 3-in-1, right? The body, the hair, and then it goes onto your face, and they're like, why is my skin so dry and weird? So yeah, that can be very overwhelming when you go from a 3-in-1 shampoo to, okay, so I'm gonna send you home with this toner and this moisturizer and this exfoliant and a night mask. Give them instructions. So explain to your client the products you are using throughout the service and why. So that's all part of our teach point. We do want to educate our clients. When we're not educating them, then it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to them. It's just like if we give them this brand new haircut but don't tell them how to style it, it's going to look great when they're there with you, but as soon as you walk out and you leave and you try to do it yourself, you're not really seeing results. They're not going to trust you. You're going to lose that trust. So store disinfected tools and multi-use supplies in a container or cabinet that is clean and dry. So don't stuff it in your rainforesty cabinet underneath your sink. That's not a good place, because we know that microbes can reproduce very quickly in wet or humid environments. So when cleaning out the container of a facial steamer, use only water that is distilled or filtered. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't tell you how big of an issue I have, at least on this campus, where I go in the back and someone has brought in spring water that's going in the steamer and it's killing it. It's so important that you're using the correct type of water for the steamer that you're using. Otherwise, you can ruin your $1,000 steamer machine just like that. Nobody wants that. All right, so clients are draped for a facial service using the cocoon wrap. Oh, cocoon wrap. It does. It looks like that little Kakuna, like Pokemon. Remove all skincare products from jars with a clean spatula, then we throw it away afterwards, and then store soiled towels in a dry covered receptacle until laundered. All right, perfect. So does anybody have any questions about our guest experience? No? All right, good. Okay, so let me turn this around one more time. Stop sharing. Okay, hi. Let me open my chat back up. Okay, so if we don't have any questions about today's theory, then let's go ahead and move on to our questions. So Corrales, I know that you said you had some questions for me. If you want, you can turn on your microphone if that's going to be easier for you, because I don't think anybody has their mic on just yet, so you can turn it on and ask me. Unless you have stepped away. Okay. While we're waiting for Corrales, does anybody else have any questions? Oh, there
Sorry,
we go.
I don't know what happened. It just like kicked me out. But so I honestly think I've been doing this completely wrong.
Okay.
Because when you were showing the paper saying all the stuff we needed to do, hold on, let me get my camera so I can show you.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought we were just supposed to do these stuff right here. I didn't realize that.
I don't think your camera's on.
Oh, is it not on? Share my webcam. Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right.
How do I turn this around? This is not like FaceTime at all. Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, I can.
So I thought we just had to do these. I didn't realize when I opened this up, this had like a paper saying all the stuff I needed to do. So that's why I was confused. I was like, I turned in everything.
Okay.
But I realized maybe I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you then those things that I sent you yesterday in the email, those are the only things that I need from you still. So I noticed that. Yeah, I'm able to go in and view all of the lab assignments that everybody has done, and you're all caught up with those. So I figured it was something like that. Yeah, that it's okay. With this being week 1, and with this being the first time any of us have ever done anything like that, I don't know about the other educators, but I am being very lenient with this week 1 situation, because I know that a lot of us were confused. It's the first time we've ever done this, and then maybe something like that happens to you. It's totally okay. Just get it to me by this week, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure to do both of them this week, last week and this week, and then I'll make sure to get them into you.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So then moving forward with week 2, for those who have been with me for week 1, our deadline is Sunday, right? And then for those of you who, if week 2 is your first week, then it's going to be the same situation. So I'm doing my best to cater to each of you individually as best I can. Just as long as you stay in communication with me, and I'm not, just hearing nothing from you, and then all of a sudden I get like all these things. Yeah, just stay in communication with me as best you can. We'll be fine. Okay. So can I do my smart notes in the study guide and email pictures of it? Absolutely. I would love if you did. That's totally fine. If you want to submit your smart notes digitally, if you want to just take, some students have just been taking a quick little video of themselves just like like they'll show me their face and they look down onto the smart notes and they show it to me, perfect. If you want to do that, if you want to take photos of it, I'm cool with that as long as I'm receiving it somehow. All right, what should we do if we still have perm services to get done? Okay. So if you still have perm services, if you are able to find something to wrap your perms with, and you have some extra time on your hands, by all means, I mean, if you want to send me, I guess, photos of it being completed. No, it's got to be a video. Yeah, all practical things, it's got to be a video. So if you want to send me a video of you like wrapping a perm, then that's totally cool. I'll just add it to your sheet. I have all of these little packets for you guys, which is gonna look like this, and it's got your day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I turn this into who is Miss Jacqueline on our campus, and then she'll put in your services. So if you did some extra services, then I'll just go ahead and add that on here, and then she can add them in for you. But I just make sure that before you're doing anything extra like that you've completed your work for that day or for the week or whatever. Just make sure that you're prioritizing correctly. Assuming most of us don't have perm rods. Yeah, okay, yeah. So assuming most of us don't have perm rods at home, I mean, I have said, if you want to wrap a perm using toothpicks, I mean, that will take 500 years, but I know of someone who's done that before. If you want to use Coke cans or whatever it is that you have, I'm totally okay with that. Just be creative with it, because I know that we don't have perm rods didn't come in our kits, but I know that the little clips do come in our kit, so at least we have that going for us. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to wrap a perm. I just know I have those services left. Thanks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so exactly, just improvise as best you can, and I'm happy to count it. Okay, any other questions? Not really? Okay. Yes.
Here. Talk.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I was wondering, since Summer and I are here together, like yesterday she did my hair, we recorded it so that she can like submit it and whenever she needs the credit. And I was wondering, instead of doing like a basic facial on her, is it okay if I did like her acrylics and recorded it for a credit and sent that in? Since I sent you my facial stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so just record it.
Yeah, you already sent me all of your facial stuff?
Yeah, remember I sent you all the stuff that I transferred in and the hours and all that. I can resend it if you want.
Yeah, resend it for me.
No problem.
I'm sure I probably counted it, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but just to be safe, yeah, just send it to me one more time.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. And I have one more question. So you sent me an email saying that like a couple of assignments that I was missing, and 2 of them, there's like the lab day makeup look lab, and then night makeup look lab. But I don't really know, like, how do I get to that? Like, what does that mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you type in here, I can tell you exactly where to go. So if you go into lab and underneath like the little search bar there, you type in 112 makeup workshop. So there's just like a quick activity that you have to do on lab to complete that one. And then the next one I think is right next to it. I think it's 112.13, and that one's your work. Yep.
Okay.
So those 2 are on
so
lab.
It's just like, so it's like things to do online. I thought it was like a video. That's why I was confused. Okay.
No.
So
I got your practical videos, but there's just 2 more assignments in lab for each of those.
Oh, okay. Got it. I must have missed that. No, I'll take care of it. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, of course.
All right. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Of course, no problem. All right. So yeah, anybody else? No, I think okay. All right, cool, perfect. So yeah, if there are no further questions, then we're good. We're finishing up a little bit early today. But if anything comes to you guys or you need any further assistance at all, you know I'm here for you. I can answer anything, and I am happy to set up like a go-to meeting one-on-one if you need any further tutorial assistance. Just let me know, you guys. And for those of you who did watch the video that I uploaded last week on Friday, I do prefer Google Voice because it just goes right to my phone for inquiries anyway. And I know that you can't send me like your assignments through Google Voice, so use my email for that. But if you just have a quick question, the Google Voice phone number is, I really like that a lot because I can just text you back really fast and it doesn't get lost in my email. So for inquiries, I prefer that you use that. All right, cool. Oh, and that phone number is on announcements. In fact, let me show everybody really quick what that means when I say that it's an announcements. Let me share my screen one more time. 1 second. Get rid of this little PowerPoint. And hopefully lab doesn't kick me out. Okay, cool. Okay, so here we are. We're in lab. So I'm just going to start from our home page so I don't confuse anyone. Okay, so this is just the page that we go to as soon as we log in. We go to learn. And then you'll go down. Because I'm an educator, I see all of these things, but you'll just click on your appropriate course. Perfect, here we go. And the announcements are right over here on the side. All right, so this is the video that I uploaded on Friday. New to class, feeling lost? Go here. So you can just copy and paste this and put it in your browser and it will take you right to the video. This right here is the attachment that I sent all of you for your first day. I don't know why it jumbles and goes in this format. That bothers me so much, but I swear that looked really nice in the attachment and you saw it. And then down here is our meeting room. So where we're at right now. So this meeting, you don't need to receive an invite for it every single week because it's just open. In fact, you guys should just be able to access this room at any time. You won't need to because I'll only be here during our class times. But you don't need to receive an invite, even though I'm probably from now on, I'm just going to go ahead and send it out to you guys just in case, but you'll be able to use this link at any time and just get right into the room. Yeah, I didn't want to come across that issue of, oh no, I forgot to send out a link, or I don't know. And it just felt like it would be easier just to keep it the same all the time. All right. Let me stop this. I'll turn it back around. All right, cool. Yeah. Then if nobody else has any, oh, here. How do we get to use that? Because I've tried to make an account, but it won't let me. Wait, Corrali, so you've tried to make an account to what now?
For the Google call thing, it wouldn't let me. It said that I needed to be like a student or something like that. Like when I tried to make my own account from it, which is weird.
Yeah, you don't have to make an account to this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in, so you made it, this is fine. Yeah,
okay.
You don't have to pay for it or anything. You can just use that link and then just go into it.
All right.
No, you don't need an account to text or call Google Voice. So you should be able to just put my little number in your phone. Yep, exactly. Just add it as a regular contact and it'll go right to my phone. And if for whatever reason we're having technical difficulties with it, like if you sent me a text and I never responded to you, just send me an email just to make sure I got it. But I haven't had any issues with it so far. It's been good. Yeah, we use Google Voice so that we're not giving our personal phone numbers out to all of you guys, but you can still text us easily. I love that. It's great. All right, awesome. Well, yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. So then we'll meet again on Thursday. And just to make sure that all of you guys know, you are receiving extra hours. Everybody that's in here today, you're receiving an extra hour and a half for coming to this meeting. So yay, awesome. I've already written everybody down. Let me just make sure that I got everybody. All right, I got Sarah, Caitlin, Corrales, Carrie, Jasmine, I believe this is Marlise, Soraya, here we go. All right, good, awesome. I got everybody, so I will add that onto everyone's sheet so that you'll get that hour and a half, okay? I'll round up. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you later. And again, please feel free to reach out. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. And then I will see you on Thursday. All right. All right. Bye, guys.